Hello, in this video we are going to look at finding the surface area of a cylinder inside of a cylinder. So a lot of students freak out when they see this question, but it is all right. So it says find the surface area of the hollow log in centimeters squared, including the ends and the inside, correct to 1 decimal place. Okay, so I'm looking at this diagram, and first of all, I can see that there's inconsistent units. So I'm going to go ahead straight away and translate that to 400 centimeters. And I'm also looking at, see how we're given the diameter of the outer circle, so this here. I'm just going to make a little note underneath to use radius, because that's something that can go wrong straight away. And this little circle here has also given the diameter, so I'm going to just relabel it with the radius, which is half the diameter. Now the next thing, for surface area, you want to come up with a general formula to guide you. What's your plan in finding the total surface area of this shape? Okay, so when I look at it, it says include the ends. Include the ends. So I am going to say, well, I've got my 2 times circular ends. We'll deal with them later. And then we have our outer curved bit. See that bit that wraps around the outside? So I'm just going to call that outer curved. And then they also want us to include this inner curved bit. So we're just coming up with a wordy formula to guide us, and we're going to keep coming back to it. First, the 2 circular ends. Let's get this bit done. So, area, 2 circular, let's just say 2 ends, I don't know. And what is it? So this is what we're looking for, right? It's cut out in the middle, so we don't need to worry about that middle bit. We're looking for that. So I would draw it out in 2D. Now maybe in year 8, you might have seen area of shaded shapes. How to find the area of a shaded shape. Think back to that. So area of the 2 ends is area shaded, which is just area of big circle, take area of small circle, because you're cutting out the small circle, so you take it away. And then let's just put in some formulas, and we need to times that by 2 because there's 2 ends, so I'm just going to do that straight away. Area of the big circle, let's put some formulas in. Well, area of circle is just pi r squared, so let's just do that. Not get too caught up in it. And I'll just say big and small. Then looking at it, we had, remember to use our radiuses here. All right. So our radius of the big, you can draw it out if you need to, okay? Radius of the big is 40. And our radius of the small was 10. And we're just going to take them away. So let's go pi times 40 squared, take pi times 10 squared times 2. We could probably simplify it a bit, but not today. Pi times 40 squared, take pi times 10 squared, all in brackets, times 2. Gives us this. Now, our answer says to 1 decimal place, so keep it to a few decimal places until the very end to avoid rounding error. So 9424.78 would be to a few decimal places. And I'm going to put a box around that. We found it. We found one of the 3 things. Now let's go to our outer curved bit. So this is where you want to be all over what a cylinder is, how to find the surface area of a cylinder. So, area, outer, curved. So So just thinking about a normal cylinder, what's its net? Its net is something like that. And you need to remember, okay, so looking at this cylinder here, we have got this long bit. So I'm just going to call this 4 meters, or 400 centimeters. And what is the bit? So the bit that curves around is the shape of a rectangle. Now looking at that purple bit there, so that's going to wrap around the ends, right? That purple bit is the way around the outside of the circle, the circumference of the circle. So it's important to realize that. And then we've got our outer radius, which we have as, what's our outer radius? Our outer circle's radius, which is 40. And then you're going to do this for the other one too. Okay, so we've got 80 pi. And let's just get into it. Okay, so we're forgetting about those circular ends. I'll just get rid of those. Just interested in the curved bit of the cylinder. Area of the outer curved is a rectangle. So length times width, and whatever order you want it, 400 times 80 pi. 400 times 80 pi to a few decimal places. Okay, we've done the outer curved. Now I'm going to put a box around it so I don't lose it amongst all of this working area. Inner curved. Again, that's just going to be our length times width in the same way. Okay, and we have, in that same method, our length is still 400, but our width is going to be that red bit, the circumference of that circle, which is 2 pi r. And we can just put that straight in if we want. 2 pi r. Now, what's the radius of that inner circle? It is 10. Make sure you substitute that. So 400 times 2 is 800 times 10 is 8,000. So 8,000 pi. Yep, which is 25,132.74. Put a box around it. And then we have finally got all of our formulas. We've got all of the terms in our formula for total surface area up the top. So let's just substitute everything in. So I could say, therefore, total surface area equals 2 times our circular ends, which we've got here. Whoops. Which is that weird shaded shape thing where you cut out the middle. We're just adding up all the box terms. So we've got our curved outer plus our curved inner. And we can just put all that in. 9424.78 plus 100,530.96 plus 25132.74. 135,088, and it said to 1 decimal place. So it's 0.48 in my calculator, so I'm going to say 0.5. And it said also, so 2 things at the end, decimal places and units. Well, we had it in square centimeters throughout, so that's what we can expect in our answer. So that is how to do it. So the key thing with surface area problems is come up with a general plan in the beginning and stick to it. And I guess the thing with this hollow log question, the tricky bit is this composite shape thing. See the shaded area? So shaded area is area big, take area small. And you've got 2 ends, so times it by 2. And I think that's all I have to say. I hope that made sense.